Hey everyone, feeling a little burnt out on advertising, like you're just tossing money into a void and getting nothing back. Yeah, I feel you. And that's why this ad I keep seeing everywhere really caught my eye, because it promises the Holy Grail: unlimited verified leads. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, you name it. This tool says it can pull leads from it. And the kicker: lifetime access for a one-time price. I gotta be honest though, my skeptical senses are tingling a bit. Unlimited anything always makes me a little wary, especially when it comes to digital marketing.
You're smart to be cautious. Unlimited is a super catchy marketing term, but let's be real. There are almost always some hidden limitations. You often find stuff buried in the fine print, like data caps, throttled speeds, or even restrictions on how many leads you can actually grab per day or month.
Ah, exactly. Like those unlimited data plans that suddenly turn into a snail race once you hit a certain limit. So how about verified leads? Is that just another fancy buzzword they're throwing around?
It's actually more than just hype. A verified lead means the contact info has been checked and confirmed to be accurate and up to date. That's way more valuable than a random list of emails that might be outdated or even totally fake.
Okay, I see the value in that for sure. But let's get down to brass tacks. How does this thing actually work? The ad's pretty vague on the specifics, and that honestly makes me a little nervous.
I hear you. That's a big red flag for me, too. When a tool promises to revolutionize your business but keeps its methods a secret, it raises some serious questions. Are they being transparent about their data sourcing? Are they operating ethically? And are there any potential legal risks involved?
Wait, legal risks? How so?
Well, depending on your industry and location, there could be strict rules around data privacy. For example, if you're in healthcare or finance, you absolutely cannot collect and use people's data without their direct consent. If this tool is scraping data without proper authorization, you could be putting your business in some serious legal hot water.
Yikes, I hadn't even thought about that. So even if this tool lives up to its promises, there could be some serious consequences if we don't know how it's getting those leads.
Exactly. It's like signing a contract without reading the terms and conditions first. You might be agreeing to something you'll majorly regret later.
Okay, I'm feeling pretty hesitant about this whole unlimited leads thing now. But they do offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. Doesn't that provide some level of reassurance?
Guarantees are often used to make you feel more secure and lower the perceived risk. But you always have to dig into the details. What are the specific terms and conditions? Is it a full refund, or are there sneaky fees or deductions? And most importantly, how easy is it to actually get that refund?
Now that you mention it, I've had some absolute nightmare experiences trying to get refunds from companies in the past. It feels like they make it intentionally difficult, hoping you'll just give up and take the loss.
Sadly, that's a pretty common tactic. And that's why reading the fine print and knowing your rights as a consumer are absolutely crucial. Don't let a shiny guarantee blind you to the potential pitfalls.
Right. So we've uncovered some potential red flags with this tool so far. Unlimited might not be truly unlimited. Verified leads raise questions about how they're collecting that data. And the guarantee, while tempting, definitely needs a closer look. But is there ever a situation where this kind of tool could actually be beneficial?
That's a great question, and it's one we'll explore in the next part of our deep dive. We'll take a look at some alternative lead generation strategies, discuss the pros and cons of different approaches, and help you figure out what might work best for your unique needs.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back. Time to shift gears a bit and explore some other lead generation strategies. You know, ones that might be a better fit than just relying on some mysterious black box tool.
It's interesting, that ad we talked about in the last part, it really hits on those pain points that so many businesses struggle with, right? High ad costs, tons of unqualified leads, slow results. It's like they know exactly what keeps us up at night.
Oh, absolutely. They're tapping into those universal frustrations to make their offer seem irresistible. But here's the thing. Those problems aren't always baked into every lead generation method out there. Sometimes they're just a sign that you're using the wrong approach.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. So let's say we ditch the idea of this magic bullet tool. What other strategies are out there? What can we explore?
Well, there are two main paths you can take: paid advertising and organic methods. They both have their pros and cons, and the best choice really depends on what you're trying to achieve, your budget, and who your audience is.
Let's start with paid ads. I've had some mixed results with them in the past. Sometimes they work wonders. Other times it feels like I'm just setting money on fire.
Yeah, that's a pretty common experience. The key to successful paid advertising is all about strategy. You got to be laser focused on your target audience, create ads that are both visually appealing and have compelling copy, and constantly test and refine your campaigns.
So it's not just about chucking a bunch of money at Google or Facebook and hoping for the best.
Definitely not. There's a real science to it. Think of it like fishing.
Hmm.
Would you just cast your line randomly into the ocean and hope to catch something? Probably not. You'd carefully choose your bait, find the spot where the fish are biting, and use the right techniques.
Okay, yeah, the analogy makes sense. Targeting is everything.
Exactly. And the great thing about paid ads is that they let you reach a massive audience super quickly. So if you're launching something new or running a time-sensitive promotion, paid advertising can be a really powerful tool.
That makes sense. But I also know a lot of businesses, especially smaller ones, are hesitant to invest heavily in ads, especially when they're working with limited budgets.
That's where organic methods come in. These are strategies that are all about building relationships, establishing your authority, and attracting leads over time. It's a slower burn for sure, but it can be incredibly powerful in the long run.
Like what? What are some examples of organic lead generation?
Well, think content marketing, creating valuable blog posts, videos, or infographics that draw people to your website. Or optimizing your website for search engines, what we call SEO, so you rank higher in search results for relevant keywords. And of course, building a strong social media presence, engaging with your audience, providing valuable insights.
So with organic methods, you're essentially attracting leads by becoming a trusted source of information in your industry.
Precisely. Instead of interrupting people with ads, you're creating content they actually want to see. You're building trust and credibility, and that leads to higher quality leads who are already interested in what you offer.
That sounds amazing, but also like it takes a lot of time and effort.
It does require consistency and dedication, no doubt about it, but the payoff can be huge. When you create valuable content and optimize it for search engines, you're building a long-term asset for your business. That content can keep attracting leads for months, even years to come.
So it's like planting a seed that keeps growing over time.
Exactly. And as your audience grows and your content gets more traction, you start to see that snowball effect. More people find your content, share it with their networks, and you attract even more leads.
Okay, so it sounds like both paid and organic lead generation have their advantages. Paid ads are great for reaching a large audience quickly, while organic methods focus on building trust and those long-term relationships. So the best approach is probably a make of both.
You hit the nail on the head. A well-rounded lead generation strategy often combines paid and organic elements. You could use paid ads to drive traffic to a great piece of content you created, or use social media to engage with leads you capture through your website. It's
Yeah,
about finding the right mix for your unique situation.
that's really helpful. And it definitely feels like a less risky approach than putting all our eggs in one basket with this unlimited leads tool and hoping for the best.
It's about being strategic and making informed choices. And speaking of strategy, let's talk about another part of that ad that caught our attention, that lifetime access offer.
Oh yeah, the idea of paying once and having access forever, it's super tempting, especially for businesses on a tight budget. But is it ever really a smart move?
It definitely sounds appealing, but there are some important things to think about. First and foremost, technology changes so fast these days. Think about the software you were using 5 or 10 years ago. Is it still relevant today? Probably not.
Oh, for sure. Remember that social media platform everyone was obsessed with a few years ago? It's a ghost town now.
Exactly. So when you see a lifetime access offer, you need to ask yourself, will this tool still be useful in a few years? Will they keep it updated and maintained to keep up with all the changes in the industry and technology?
And what about the company itself? Will they even be around in 5 or 10 years?
That's another crucial factor. We've seen companies, especially in the tech world, disappear overnight. If you're making a lifetime investment, you need to be confident in the company's long-term stability and their commitment to supporting their product.
Okay, so even though lifetime access sounds amazing, it's not always the best long-term strategy.
It really comes down to how much risk you're willing to take and how much you trust the tool and the company behind it. Sometimes a subscription model, even though it might seem more expensive up front, can actually offer more flexibility and peace of mind.
Because you can always cancel if the tool becomes outdated or if the company's service goes downhill.
Exactly. It gives you more control and the ability to adapt in the long run. Now, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, I want to emphasize one more crucial aspect of lead generation: ethics.
Yes. We touched on this earlier. It's not just about getting any leads, it's about getting them the right way.
Absolutely. We have a responsibility to handle personal data with respect and to make sure our marketing practices are transparent and follow all the relevant laws and regulations.
So no shady tactics or buying lists of email addresses from Who knows where?
Definitely not. Building a sustainable and ethical lead generation system means focusing on building genuine relationships, providing real value, and respecting people's privacy. It might take more time and effort, but it's the right way to do business.
This has been so eye-opening. We started out tempted by the promise of unlimited leads, but now we've learned about the nuances of paid versus organic strategies, the complexities of lifetime access offers, and the importance of ethical considerations.
It's been great diving into this with you. In our final segment, we'll pull together some key takeaways and leave you with some practical steps you can start taking today to improve your lead generation efforts.
Stay tuned. And we're back for the final part of our deep dive into the world of lead generation. You know, we've covered so much ground, from the allure of unlimited leads and the importance of verification to the pros and cons of paid versus organic strategies. Oh, and let's not forget those ethical considerations that should always guide our approach. It's been quite a journey, but I feel like we have a much clearer understanding now of what it really takes to build a lead generation system that's both successful and sustainable.
Absolutely. It's so easy to get caught up in the hype, those promises of quick fixes and overnight success. But as we've seen, there's really no magic bullet when it comes to lead generation. If you want to generate quality leads, you need to be strategic, put in the work consistently, and be dedicated to building genuine relationships with your audience.
So true. So let's break down some key takeaways for our listeners. For those who are ready to take their lead generation to the next level, what are the most important things to remember as they start this journey?
Well, first and foremost, be a critical thinker. Don't just take marketing claims at face value, especially when they sound a little too good to be true. Always dig deeper, ask those tough questions, and don't be afraid to look for the fine print.
Yeah, like those unlimited offers we talked about. You really got to understand those limitations and potential downsides before you commit to anything.
Exactly. And remember how we talked about verification being key? A verified lead is much more likely to convert, which means better return on your investment. Plus, it shows that you're committed to ethical data practices, and that's essential for building trust and credibility.
Absolutely. And when you're choosing a lead generation strategy, don't feel like you have to stick to just one approach.
Explore both paid and organic methods. See what works best for you, what aligns with your goals, your budget, and your target audience.
And don't be afraid to experiment, right? You might need to adjust your approach as you go.
Exactly. The marketing landscape is always changing, so being flexible and adaptable is super important.
And finally, remember that building a successful lead generation system takes time. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
It takes patience, persistence, and a genuine commitment to providing value to your audience.
Could agree more. Now, before we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought. What's one action they can take today to start improving their lead generation efforts?
I'd say take a step back and really get to know your ideal customer. Who are they? What are their pain points? What are their dreams and aspirations? What motivates them? Once you have a deep understanding of your target audience, you can tailor your lead generation strategies to truly resonate with them and address their specific needs and desires.
That's such great advice. Understanding your audience is the foundation of any successful marketing effort. Well, this brings us to the end of our deep dive into the world of lead generation.
It's been a pleasure exploring this with you and all our listeners.
I've learned so much, and I hope everyone listening has too. Remember, generating quality leads is an ongoing process.
Stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay engaged.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you in the next one.